They changed the whole Zoom, so it's kind of been messing me up. So, a conference gives you an opportunity to ask some questions, but before I do that, I just want to give some thanks. We just came off of a week in Savannah, and it was amazing. Hannah and Steph and Ryan and Melissa, Matt taught awesome workshops, and just really proud of all of them because they've come a long way. From never knowing the count to all of a sudden knowing how to teach back bends and all this kind of stuff, and they all got amazing feedback. In Savannah, we had about, I don't know, roughly about 30 people or so that came to the collective. And the collective is just the collective group of people that are teaching a workshop instead of it just being, me. It's a bunch of people, for other people. And so it was really kind of a breath of fresh air because even listening to the workshops as a participant and just helping a little bit, I feel like I learned stuff. And that's really good to have a different perspective and all that kind of stuff. And so I just want to give thanks. And for the people that were there, it was a really special group of people. It was a great week. There's a lot of good energy and a lot of people breaking through some of these huge things. And so I want to give a shout out to Anna, Ryan, all of the people that I mentioned there. They did a great job. So, yeah. So, getting text messages on my iPad now. I don't know what that's about. So, you got an opportunity to ask some questions, but some of the things that I've been going through have been what I would say have been transformative for me. This guy told this story recently that I heard, and I want to tell you guys the story too, because I feel like it really it feels like what I'm actually going through, and potentially maybe what you're going through as well. And it's called The Rebirth of the Eagle. Have we heard this story before? So the rebirth of the eagle. Have we heard this before? No. So I'm going to paraphrase it, probably not tell it in a great story, but so the eagle can live up to 80 years old. Um, and it's like one of the most, I don't know, fierce creatures that are in the sky, birds that are in the sky. And at the 40-year mark, because they live a really long time and they're huge. I don't know if you've seen, I mean, they're gigantic. Bald eagles are huge. But at the 40-year mark, the eagle has a choice. And the choice is this. At the 40-year mark, his or her beak is not very strong anymore. And its talons can't grab stuff the same way. And it notices that it cannot fly as well. And it's very dramatic. It goes from being a predator in the sky to all of a sudden being not able to take care of itself. It really is a dramatic transformation to sit there and go they can't catch the same things, they can't carry the same things, and some of them can pick up baby deers and stuff like that, or even bigger. And it has a choice, and the choice is to stay the same, and to stay at the same altitude, and to stay at the place that it is, and accept life on life's terms, and to say to itself that this is only this is never going to get better than this, and it's only going to get worse from here. And to tell you the truth, more than half of the eagles choose this. They choose to stay at that. They stay at the same, at the same tree level and all of this kind of stuff. The other half of the eagles fly up to the top of mountains, and they rip out all of their feathers, and they break their beak, and they rip out all of their talons, And they spend months and months in isolation. It actually gives me chills, like just to talk about it, because like I felt like it meant something to me. That's why I'm telling you. And they spend months and months regrowing their beak so that it becomes hard again. But they have to break it in order for it to happen. They rip out their talons so that they can grow new ones, and they grow back stronger. And they rip out all of their feathers so that they can fly like what they did the first 40 years. And this happens to every eagle. Actually, not every species of eagle, but it happens to a lot of the species. And that bird, that eagle that flies up to the top of the mountain is called the rebirth of the eagle. And it comes down from the mountain after months and months of isolation. And it's stronger and it's faster and its beak is harder than it was the first 40 years. But the choice of that eagle was to stay the same or to be in a different place. And most of them, or at least half of them, want to stay the same because it's comfortable. They do. And it's familiar. And it feels foreign to be like, I'm going to go to a different place, or I'm going to try something new, or I'm going to learn a new skill, or I'm going to take everything that I have learned so far and I'm going to put it to the side and I'm going to learn something new. And man, that's huge. It's huge. Yeah. Just imagine taking your whole identity and taking it up into isolation and undoing all of the identity. And to a certain degree, like what we're doing on our mat is feeling that. It's almost like this tearing down, the ripping out of the talons and the feathers and saying like, I want to be somewhere different. And not all the time. I mean, sometimes like I feel like it's really dramatic. I think other times it's very easy to be like, I'm just going to go where I'm comfortable. And I feel like lately, like what has been happening is that there's been a lot of people like around me that have like very big decisions to make, whether it's with relationships or whether it's with careers, or buying a home or starting a business. All of these big decisions, and they have the opportunity. That's like, okay, well, to stay at your 9 to 5 because it's familiar and because it's a check and you know it shows up every Friday or Monday or whatever it is, first and the 15th, whatever, that you have a choice to say like, I want that or I want something different. And in order to do that, all the feathers got to be ripped out. All the talons got to be ripped out in order for us to start again. And yeah, I've been feeling that a lot on my yoga mat. Anybody else feeling that? Yeah. Where it's just like this very powerful feeling that, you know, everything that I have in my life today, I prayed for. I worked hard for to get everything that I have in my life. I shared at the collective, like, I want what I have today. And that wasn't always the case. You know, I'm grateful for my life. And it's in a really weird place to be like, I'm grateful for all of that stuff, but some of the stuff I don't want anymore, even though that I prayed for it. And man, that's a moment of like coming to truth, or yeah, this hard idea that stuff that you prayed for is not really the stuff that you want anymore, or stuff that you were praying for, even though that it hasn't come yet, you might want to change it, you know? And man, that's a hard pill to swallow. And I feel like on my yoga mat, I've been doing this work, you know. I've had a couple setbacks, injuries, and things like that, but like on my mat, I feel like the layers I mean, I can't really explain it to you. I feel like a different person. It's not really familiar to me. I'm the person that I am. Um, and it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. You know, I shared on the journey to the big hike, and part of I think what this conversation started. Like we got done with that huge hike. I don't know if some of you were listening to the conference or watched it on our Facebook group or whatever. But I got done with the big hike, and I had a guy ask me like, "Are you happy?" Like straight up hippie guy. We were in Kauai. No one else was around me. It was just me walking down the road, going to a restaurant, and the guy says, it looks me dead in the eyes, says like, "Are you happy?" And at the moment of that moment, even though like I just achieved like this serious hike and was gonna, I mean, almost died a couple times, I was not happy. And I've spent the last month looking at the things that no longer serve me, and looking at them and saying, what do I want my life to look like for the next 10 years? How do I want to serve people? What do I want my job to be? Do I want to continue to teach? Do I want to do something else? Like what fills up my cup or what fills up your cup? These are like questions that we have to ask ourselves all the time, because like when we show up on our mat, we're doing way more than exercise. Like some of us can come here just to help with our running. Some of us can come here to just help, get us involved in like a spiritual program or something like that. Or, like there's some sort of meditative quality to it or personal growth thing that can happen in here. It happens on a bunch of different levels, but we're all met with this, whether you like it or not. You're met with like your choices, the decisions that you've made, and you're met with the consequences of those decisions. And we all have choice. And what our yoga practice does is it gives us the awareness that we actually do have a choice. And you can choose to be like, hey, you know what? I'm just going to let it unfold or make no decision. Or you can be an active participant and like, I'm going to make a decision. I'm going to choose to do something else. I'm going to be uncomfortable. I'm going to go up to the top of the mountain. I'm going to be in isolation. I'm going to learn a new skill. I'm going to go back to school. I'm going to start a business. I'm going to get in a different relationship. I'm going to make more money. Whatever it is, go up to the top of the mountain. You learn those skills and you say, I want something different. And you come back stronger than what you were. And I'm in that process right now. And I know a lot of people around me that are. Um, and it's hard, it's scary. And in order to do it, you need support from other people, for sure. You need people that you can count on, community that cares about you. Somewhere where if you can't find it in relationships or family or any of that kind of stuff, you got to find some people that support you on your journey. Yeah. And I feel grateful that I have those people in my life today, because I didn't always. Yeah. That's the rebirth of the eagle. And I know a lot of people like are in that spot where you're looking at life and you're saying like, maybe there's more out there. Or I mean, there's people like, hey, why am I in Columbus still? Or why am I in so and so place? Why am I there when I'd be happier at a beach? Or I'd be happier doing something else or learning a different skill. Man, these are really hard questions that are very easy to look over, but they sit there and they nag. And then a year goes by, 5 years go by, 10 years go by, and all of a sudden, like you're dealing with regret instead of making the decision for what might best serve you. And I don't want to be um, on my deathbed and have regrets. I don't want. I'm not the type of person that wants to have regrets. And in order to not have regrets, you have to make difficult decisions, scary decisions. So I'm willing to do the work. And I hope you are too. Yeah, that's the rebirth of the eagle. So that's all I wanted to share today. It meant a lot to me just processing it because I felt like I said, a lot of people are kind of in the same spot. Yeah. Does anyone have any questions with regard to their practice or any thoughts with that? A little hard to talk after that, maybe. Yeah. So I'm here tomorrow. We start a little bit earlier tomorrow. If you're going to join us on Zoom, you can join us around 7:30, something like that. I'll turn it on if that works better for your schedule. For the people that are in person, yeah, we'll start a little bit earlier tomorrow as well, just so there's enough time for and space for everyone. And then I'm here on Sunday, and then I leave on Sunday afternoon. So, yeah. Thank you all for being here. Thanks for being students and being part of my journey. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
Yeah.